Dan Larson here, and I'm at the photo booth with my Force Friday haul, some recent pickups, and a Boba Sett update. First off, Force Friday haul, it's not really so much a haul. Producer Greg and I went out Thursday night at midnight like we have for the last 2 years, and Toys R Us had just about nothing. If anybody from Hasbro is watching this, you should know there's nothing exciting about logging onto Amazon at midnight to order stuff and then waiting for it to arrive after the long holiday weekend. The hype is all about being able to go out and put that stuff in your hands that night. Maybe my experience is an isolated incident, but I don't think it is. My location put out a single case of 6-inch Black Series figures. Basically, the first person in line got them all. He left a Vader, basically the same one as the 40th anniversary piece, a Stormtrooper, which we've seen before, a Poe and a Leia, which I just couldn't bring myself to buy at that moment. Everything else was the 3 3/4-inch figures, Talkin' Plush Porgs, Rogue One leftovers. I did grab the Luke with the speeder, because I didn't want to leave empty-handed. I just wasn't feeling the 3 3/4-inch stuff this year. Maybe that'll change after I see the movie. Maybe after I have some connection with those characters. Quick impression on the speeder. I like it. I don't $60 like it. Obviously, I bought it, but here we are. The new Luke is a kind of a lateral move. Hard to say that it's much of an improvement. I mean, I guess it is. Same figure from the neck down. He's got some new accessories, new head. I mean, there's nowhere to go but up from that last figure. It's but I mean, it's still rough. I don't love all the same issues I had with the first one I have with this one, except that the head is a little bit better. Knowing that the photo printed face technology is coming, I feel like this isn't the last time I'm going to be buying him, and that really stings. We're definitely going to do a video on the speeder, so I don't want to talk too much about it here. Just slide you off to the side. That is all I grabbed actual Thursday night, Force Thursday at midnight. But Friday morning, producer Greg was able to grab the Old Man Luke and Hera. And again, I don't want to go too much into these because we do have videos planned for both of those. If you can tell me what the heck on earth I'm supposed to do with this cape, cloak, and the ties, I'd really appreciate it. I'm sure the full-size cloak is made out of wool, and gravity keeps it draped over his shoulders without it sliding off or anything. So they put these ties on it to try to attach it to him somehow, but I'm just not sure where they're supposed to tie. I don't think it's supposed to tie around his neck. I guess maybe you could wind him around his shoulders or something. I was thinking maybe around and then tie him in the back, but I just don't think there's a way to do it to make this look good. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know. But again, we got a video coming up for that. Hera, on the other hand, Hera is perfect. I love her. My only issue is that I swear if they don't make Ezra, Chopper, and Zeb to finish off the original crew, let's get rolling with that. And while you're at it, Dengar, 4LOM, and Zuckuss. There's six of your 10 most wanted Black Series figures right there. Boba Sett update. Bring these guys over here. This is numbers 338, 338, and 339. 338 had a bunch of black paint all over him. You get some black paint on the back of his jetpack. There's black paint all over his feet and the. Look at this; it's like sticking to the stand. I got some black paint on his tool there. Some a little bit around his rangefinder here on the rocket. And I was told by the previous owner that there was black paint all over his chest, and that he tried to clean it off. That's why the chest part the armor is so clean. He tried to clean it off, and whatever he was using to clean it basically just pulled all the paint right off of his chest. So that's rough. And then 339 here, full disclosure. His hand was missing, and while I usually don't like to add stuff, I don't like to change the figures in any way. Like this is how he came in. I'm not going to clean any of this up. I'm not going to repaint his chest. I like to add them to the Boba Sett the way I received them. But I put the hook on there. As much as I would like to have received him that way and had the story behind that, I did go ahead and put the hook on there. you know, there was a headless one. If you go back and watch some of those Boba Sett videos, you'll see that there's one that has a head that kind of looks like me on it. That figure came in with no heads. I had to do something with that, so I put a head on there that kind of looks like me. There's another one that has like a Sith robe. I dressed him up for Halloween, basically in an Instagram picture. I like the way it looks, so I left it on there. So he's just sort of in the set with that robe. And then this guy's got the hook hand, and you know, technically all those alterations are reversible, so they're fun. They give him a little bit more of a unique personality. So that's so that's those guys, 338 and 339, almost on the downhill to 400, getting exciting. Back here we've got 2008 Legacy Collection, Grand Admiral Thrawn. First time I've ever been able to get my hands on this one. I still really like the Power of the Force one. He's one of my all-time favorite figures, and I can't even explain why. I just like it. I do like Thrawn. I like Rebels and was glad to see him on the show. Glad he finally made it into the Black Series. And that he's back in continuity. There aren't many Thrawn figures out there in existence, so I had to grab this one sooner or later. The proportions are a little weird. I like this old Salamiri as opposed to this donkey-faced one. I like the four-eyed lizard kind of thing. It's just, I don't know. This is too cute. They're both cute. I just like this one better. Like I said, I can't explain it, but I'm glad to have finally been able to get my hands on that one. I'm just realizing now how much whiter that is than that one, and that he's got the white hands as opposed to blue, as though he's wearing gloves. I don't remember in the books if he wore gloves, but anyway, back here, two other figures that I've been wanting to add to my collection for a while. We've got Faceoff Cap, who's not going to stand. Faceoff Cap and Faceoff Hulk. Cap is, I mean, they're both old Toybiz figures. Cap is built on the Ultimate Captain America base, which, full disclosure, you know, when this era of Marvel Legends was happening, I was out. If you've watched our videos for any amount of time, you'll know that when it comes to the Toybiz stuff, I tend not to be super excited about it because they're just so over-articulated that they personally, I find them to be ugly most of the time. I appreciate the details and the sculpt and the paint and all that stuff, but, you know, toe hinges make it so that they can't stand, and there's just joints everywhere. And then you get a figure like Hulk, where he's got so many points of articulation, but nothing in the ab crunch. He's got these fingers that, you know, why even have that hand join? What's the point there? I really don't get it. So there's just a lot of weird choices. And you know, when these figures were actually originally released, I wasn't even collecting Marvel Legends at the time. I think I was on Gundam figures, maybe Star Wars 12. I don't even remember what I was buying. But I jumped back in for Ultimate Cap because I had just read the comics and I loved them, and this was Captain America as far as I was concerned. So I grabbed this one and was like, you know, it's pretty cool. And he stood on my desk at work, and so I've been wanting to get the Face-Off Cap for a while. It's the same basic body, but there's a lot of weird aesthetic sort of issues there. Like, you know, his head doesn't come up. It won't pivot up far enough. So the only way to get him actually looking straight is to have his, you know, back, his spine like cracked. It's just in this weird, awkward angle. And he's all gangly and sort of, you know, just overly rendered. But, you know, I think it was really great in its day. And now that I have it in hand, I'm not totally sure it's held up. I may actually have to reevaluate where I have him on the top 10 caps list. Face-Off Hulk, I love the look. It's exactly the look I've wanted for a comic Hulk. Not sure if you can see on screen, but the greens in the plastic, they're different. They've aged differently. And this one was, you know, it's been stored. It's from an adult collection, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, the greens don't really match anymore, and that's kind of weird. If I was a customizer, I would certainly paint it. But articulation, like I said, is an issue there without the ab crunch. No fists, but that head, these proportions, like that's the Hulk I've wanted. That's my new shelf Hulk. In the back here, I was right after, of course, you know, right after Hasbro, you know, reissues him, Ares, as a single pack, single card figure, single box. What are we calling him now? In the most recent Thor wave, like 2 weeks later, I was able to actually complete him. It's funny, I started building him back in, I think 2010 or 2011. I was at a yard sale, digging through a bin. I think it was a bin full of wrestlers, wrestling figures. And in there was a Series 3 Wolverine, Series 3, Series 6, whichever one, the Juggernaut Wave one, Series 6. There was a Wolverine in there, and then his Ares helmet was on the bottom. I was looking for the rest of the parts and stuff, but that was the only piece. So since then, I've been slowly putting him together. So I just finally added his right leg and crotch to put that whole thing together, and it's pretty good. I'm glad to have both pieces because I think both paint treatments are really great. And they both work for the character. I think right now I like the newer one better. The chest symbol on the newer one I certainly like a bit more, and I really like all the black in this version. But I don't know. I mean, that's an opinion that is subject to change every 5 or 10 minutes. Lastly is this Sonic Phaser Space Laser, and you know, it's along with all the other stuff I collect. I do have a little collection of toy guns as well, cap guns, various lasers, 4 or 5 different Uzis, you know, standard stuff. But I like this one because it has different settings. You never know when you're going to need to, you know, mass invert some punk that's trying to jack your collection or something. Somebody, you know, you need to anti-gravity your way out of a situation, or radiate. I don't even know what that does. Honestly, I think my toaster oven has most of the same settings here. Anyway, that's the stuff. Thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know in the comments how to tie this cape on. I just don't know. It should have come with an instruction manual. Maybe they explain it in the movie. Maybe we see that scene. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know in the comments how to tie that thing. Later.